Hi everyone, I'm Becca, Becca Owen. I use they, them pronouns. I'm the current guest curator at Five Oaks Museum. So I'm going to do some introductions, get us all situated, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lo, and they will lead us through a participatory workshop. So you can turn your video on or leave it off or switch between the two, totally up to you, all participants. You will be muted by default. This workshop is going to be recorded, but your screen won't be recorded unless you unmute yourself to say something. And we will split up into breakout groups later, and those breakout groups will not be recorded. You can also use the chat feature to send a message to the entire group or directly to Lo or to me. If you have any like tech issues or anything, you can send those to me and I'll try and help you straighten them out. So this workshop is part of the exhibition Gender Euphoria, Contemporary Art Beyond the Binary, which I curated for Five Oaks Museum. It opened just about a month ago. So as a genderqueer and non-binary art historian, I was so excited to have the opportunity to guest curate this exhibition. It had been a dream of mine for a long time to create a show that highlighted all of the talented, or not all of, but many of the talented trans and gender nonconforming artists in the Pacific Northwest region. So the exhibition opened on the Five Oaks website last month. I'll share the link in the chat a little bit later. And the entire thing is non-location based. So there's a website gallery and there's live stream programming and events like this one. This is the last one. We had a drag performance on opening night. We had a curator's conversation and we had a zine making workshop, and all of those things are recorded and uploaded on the website. So if you didn't get a chance to see them and you want to, you can go watch them on the website. And if you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, you can participate in Zeph Fishland's Sum of Its Parts project. I'll send the link for that as well. So that's our kind of last ongoing program, and that wraps up tomorrow. So there's one more day to participate in that. And I also wanted to thank the exhibition sponsors. So thank you to the Imperial Sovereign Rose Court of Oregon, which is Oregon's oldest LGBTQ+ organization, Rainbow Tax and Accounting, the Miller Foundation, and the Collins Foundation. Thank you all so much for making space for conversations like this one to happen. I'm just going to talk a little bit more and then I'll turn things over to Lo. Before we get started, I want to do a land acknowledgement and a body acknowledgement. So we're all meeting in virtual space from different geographic areas, and I encourage you to look up the Indigenous people whose land you are on in your geographic area. Here in Portland, we're on Chinookan, Clackamas, Multnomah, Wascow, Cowlitz, Cathlamet, Kalapuyan, Affolati, and Clatskanie land. These groups and other Indigenous people have made their homes along the Columbia River since time immemorial and were violently and forcibly displaced by white settler colonialism. But it's equally important to acknowledge that thousands of Indigenous people are living and thriving today, and Portland has one of the largest urban populations of Indigenous people in the country. So I'm going to read a body acknowledgement that was written by the staff at Five Oaks Museum, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lo. So before we begin, I want to take a moment to recognize the body. Each of us is one, and it is the body that holds us here in this shared world. I invite you to choose a physical sense and check in with it. Place a hand on your skin. Is it warm? Breathe in deeply through your nose. Can you smell? The context of a virtual meeting can feel disembodying, but a chain reaction of very rapid physical phenomena are connecting us through our senses. We are still doing the physical work of presence, and our bodies deserve our attention and care now and always. Our bodies deserve acknowledgement in the virtual and physical spaces we simultaneously occupy. The bodies who built and maintain the structures and objects around us, the bodies who cannot access these spaces, the bodies who were consumed, harmed, and killed in the places we now occupy, the bodies of the future who need us and whom we also need, and for whom we take on the work of healing, struggling, and change. Let us not forget those bodies while we continue to care for our own as we share this work today. And remember, our bodies should be comfortable, our thoughts and feelings don't have to be. So Lo Moran, who uses they, them pronouns, creates interdisciplinary projects that are often participatory, collaborative, and co-authored. They aim to question and change the systems in which we are all embedded by organizing situations of connection, openness, and non-hierarchical learning. Lo desires to develop sites for accessibility and reimagined ways of being together. They are a printmaker, educator, and member of Public Annex. Low performs experimental music as soft fantasy. They take karaoke seriously and try their best to embrace fluidity and chaos. And for this exhibition, Low has created a participatory iteration of their ongoing project, Conversion Therapy, Queering the World. So I'm going to turn it over to Low.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. It's really nice to be in this place with you all in this virtual space. And yeah, I'm so excited, and just wanted to start with, I guess, a brief content warning about there is a part where I am briefly talking about like the existence of conversion therapy, not really going into too much detail, but just kind of my research with it, and also there is one slide that I'll be showing that it's from a anti-gay magazine ad. So that is just something that is gonna be coming up, but mostly not focused on, this workshop is not about that, but just kind of coming into a conversation with some of those things. But I want to start by this exercise that I learned from the book Making and Being about, and this is kind of my own variation of it. I'm not quoting it exactly, but I really want to bring kind of our queer ancestors into the room, and like the people that we've learned from, the people that have grown and started this movement that we're in, that we've been in. And so I would invite you to start by, you can unmute yourself and just kind of say a name of someone that's influenced you, or that whose work you appreciate, whose name you would want to bring into the room, and get everybody's voices into the room. Anyone who wants to start?
Zachary.
Sarah Ahmed.
Jose Nunez.
Natalie Nev.
Dirk.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yeah,
okay. My name is Anna, and I took part in some workshop, and it was interesting about Barbara Kapusta with about the videos called Empathic Creatures. It's really beautiful.
Thank you. I want to bring Marcia P. Johnson into the room. Does anybody else have anybody? All right. I guess thank you for that. And just, continue to think about all those people and all the people, there's lots of people we didn't name, but just kind of that all this work is being done because of the work that other people have done. And that's something I just really want to acknowledge. Sorry, I can only see myself right now. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just introduce myself. I'm Lo Moran. I use they, them pronouns. I want everybody to get a chance to introduce themselves. So I was gonna have us break into we're gonna do a couple of sessions of breaking into breakout rooms. And also I wanted to point out that if you wanted to put your pronouns with your name on Zoom, there's a way to rename yourself, so you can add your pronouns if you go up to the participants tab. That's always a feature of this that I find helpful, however you identify. And yeah, so I wanted to just introduce myself as someone who feels like I'm a person at the beginning of trying to figure out healing. I feel like I have a lot of work to do, and I'm coming at this as an artist, not as someone, I guess, trained in therapy or anything like that. It's kind of it's more about celebrating the healing work that comes from the queer community and queer culture, and and I'm really just interested in what everyone is bringing into the room. And I just like want to say that like I feel like I'm a learner, and I'm always excited to learn from what everyone has to offer, and to just stay open if you feel that way too. And yeah, so I wanted us to just start by going into breakout rooms. And when you're in the breakout room, if you wanted to introduce yourself and share the pronouns that you use, and share like, what do you feel that you're bringing to this workshop today? And that can be curiosity, that can be like skills that you feel like you have, it can be anything. There's no wrong answer, just like, what do you feel like you're bringing today? And also, while you're in a smaller breakout room, just talk about a couple community agreements that you like, if you've had workshops, like, and that just means like things we're all agreeing to as we're sharing the space together. And then we'll just like say a couple of those when we come back into the big group. Yes, so that will be our first step.
So do you want me to make the breakout rooms, or do you want to make them?
If you could, or yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
Absolutely. About how many people do you want in each room? Like 5 or 6? Or we could do less?
That works.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going, y'all?
Yeah, we didn't start it yet. I don't. Yeah.
No problem. Do folks want to introduce themselves with their name and pronouns? And then maybe we could go around and talk about like what we feel like we're bringing to the workshop. I can start. I'm Becca, and I use they, them pronouns. And then if you want to share, you'll have to click the little like unmute button on your screen.
Hey, I'm Ren, and I use she pronouns.
Sweet, thanks, Ren.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Anna. Maybe I will use we. Yes.
Great, thanks, Elna. And
I'm Eel. I guess it depends. I use she pronouns, but also they pronouns. and I'm trying to make my video work, but the internet people are coming, so
Oh, no.
I might be gone, I might be here. I'll try to figure this out.
Well, thank you for trying. We appreciate that. Great. Thanks everyone for introducing yourselves. And in terms of what we're bringing to the workshop, I guess I'm super curious to learn more about Lo's process. And I guess I'm bringing like a curiosity and like an open-mindedness and an excitement for like trying new things. That's what I'm bringing.
Yes. I hope we all have some curiosity. And I love the idea always about sharing, but mainly also caring, and how to care, how to have different views on taking everybody into account and not splitting into some other direction. But in the meantime, yes, giving everybody a chance to say loud, or even not so loud, but saying something. Yes.
Yeah. That's great. So like an openness to everyone coming together.
Yes.
That's great. Eel and Ren, feel free to share if you want, but no pressure, of course. And I'm trying to remember if there was another thing that Lo asked us to share, but I don't. And name, pronouns, and what we were bringing. I think that was everything.
Oh yeah, for me, curiosity as well, just wanting to learn more and keep a dialogue going. I think this is a time of change for everybody. This is a time of change for everybody, and I think that we just need to keep rolling with it. And yeah, you think so too.
Hi. Thank you, Ren, for sharing. That's awesome. Sorry, was someone gonna say something?
No.
Great. I'm gonna dip back into the main group and then just kind of check on the other groups, and I think we'll all go back to the main group soon. But thanks everyone. It was really nice to check in.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out my internet.
No worries, Eel.
Do you think it's a good time to bring everyone back?
I feel like our group was pretty much done, so I can bring everyone back.
Cool.
And I think I can give everyone like a 1-minute warning. I'll do that.
Oh, perfect.
Broadcast. Wow, this is so fun. I've never done the breakout rooms before.
It's pretty ideal for like conducting like if you were in a classroom doing it, it takes so long for people to like get in their groups, and I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah. It's snappy. Okay, I'm gonna close all the rooms and then everyone. Oh, now it says all breakout rooms will close in 60 seconds.
Sweet.
Hey, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for getting to know each other a little bit and
Yeah.
introductions and everything.
Yeah. Did anybody talk about any community agreements that they thought were good?
That was the other thing I
And
forgot.
if you would, oh yeah, and if you would want to share any. I can share one that I always really appreciate, which is the move up, move back agreement of, because I'm kind of a shy person. It's like, if you are a person that contributes to group conversations a lot and is okay talking a lot in front of people, like make sure that other people in the room are getting a chance to speak. And if you're a quiet person who maybe doesn't like speak up in groups a lot, challenge yourself to contribute to the conversation. That's always one that I always try to pay attention to. But oh, you can put them in the chats too if you so people that are coming back, we're just kind of talking about community agreements. Does anybody have any other ones that they like?
I guess in our group, though, we were wondering about the community agreements, and we kind of missed out on exactly what we were supposed to be considering or talking about in that. So I was wondering if that's all coming back, just a quick sentence on.
Totally. It's kind of just about like what we're all agreeing to and sharing the space together. So like and it could be practical, like try not to talk when other people are talking, or it could be more like and the intention of staying open, and like or it could be I don't know. I hope other people have things too. I could come up with them, but I always like kind of getting, oh yeah, so people are commenting in the chat too.
Yeah, Natasha says we thought about the awareness of the tech problems. Delays make it harder to not talk over each other. Let people know directly when they can't be heard / connection is bad. Yeah, that's great.
Good point. Yes.
Something I was thinking about in my breakout group was like coming to the workshop with curiosity. So like having curiosity be sort of like a driving force. I think could be a community agreement, or like open-mindedness and like openness to each other, like sharing and coming from different places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and kind of building off of that, I think about speaking from one's own experience and recognizing that we might be coming from different places, and that being conscientious of trying not to make generalizations about other people that we don't know, especially.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I have also thought, I said about care, and now I would add the idea how to generate some empathy about or in the room about people or stories you maybe not know, or no, yeah, the people you not know, but then yes, open your mind and your feelings to what could happen somewhere else, and still, or transpose or transfer it in your own into your own space somehow. Maybe this could be one.
Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful one. Thank you. Thanks for all those. Does anyone have anything else? And feel free to write it in the chat too if that's easier, but thanks for that. And so now I'm just gonna kind of talk a little bit about the backstory of the project. I'm gonna share some slides after I talk a little bit, and then we'll go into another exercise, an exercise of sorts. But just to kind of give some context for the project and where I'm coming from with it. So I guess this project started a couple years ago. I was kind of working on a different project where I was talking to a lot of people with about like personal and political difference. I was talking to people with like radically different political opinions than I had. And through that process, like I kind of felt like I was like confronting gender and being non-binary a lot, because people were kind of so focused on it, and there was like some trolling and some attacks, and I was just like, I don't know, it was just interesting to like kind of confront those conversations head on, and in ways that like made me think about myself a lot. And so that was one of the impetuses. And also so then I was later kind of listening to a podcast series about the history of conversion therapy, and kind of just had the thought of like wouldn't it be funny in my like to reverse the idea and like what does it mean to like turn everyone gay, and how that's kind of like the fear that I feel from people when I talk to them is like this, it's kind of like playing on that like stereotype or whatever. But then, you know, and that was like the surface reaction to that, and starting to research like all the strange methodologies that were kind of come up in conversion therapy. It was invented in Germany, etc. But then I started to kind of think deeper about it, and thinking about like all the values and that I'd learned from queer culture and like the queer community in my life and people, and like really started to kind of focus on like an interest in that, and like all the healing that like I feel like queer people bring into the world, especially right now. And so that kind of like started me kind of on a different thought path with this project. Instead of like kind of having this reactionary, like wanting to kind of attack, or like, I don't know, kind of wanting to attack back or something, and kind of turning it into more of a moment where I was like, I'm really interested in confronting these things with curiosity. And so that I'm gonna share some slides now. And wanting to form the project around like the idea of like queer healing and like celebration of like queer ideas. So just a little more on that. So for this project, I was really, I have like a research-based practice, and I started getting kind of really deep into some dark like research holes of kind of thinking about like the community that forms around like what is like what we call conversion therapy. People have other names for it. There's a whole ex-gay movement of people who identify this way, and it's kind of like a whole subculture. And I was just kind of just like fascinated by that, and also kind of started thinking about it as like a subculture of queerness. But so I've been researching a lot of that stuff for this project. I created this website kind of like as a response to like all those things that I've been researching, with a strange video, and I encourage you to explore that at some point. And yeah, I'm interested in the idea of queering the world. What that means can mean different things to different people, but I'm interested in disrupting dominant culture and creating different structures and world building, which is something that I think queer people throughout history have had to do a lot because of because when dominant culture doesn't accept people, we have to create our own communities and cultures outside of that. And yeah, I saw this meme, and this is what made me think about like all the values that I've learned from like my queer community and the queer culture, and just like it just made me kind of reflect about yeah, thinking about the values I'd learned from that community, from this community. And yeah, these are some of the things that I feel like I've taken away a lot. And I would encourage you to think about your own values and like tracing where they're coming from, because it's an interesting process. These are some that people shared so far. I have like an intake form that kind of mirrors what this workshop is about, and some people's responses I thought were really awesome. So I just wanted to share those. Thinking about the values that we can learn from queer community. And yeah, just thinking about how this is an intersectional conversation. It's not in a silo by itself. We want to acknowledge all movements, and this sits within the movement for Black Lives that's happening right now, and how these things are also like intersectional and like and this world building is very intersectional. Like we need to build worlds that are safe for trans Black women, and like how do we do that is a question that I have. And you know, this is a image from 50 years ago, all the protests that resulted after Stonewall, and just kind of thinking about time feels like it's collapsing, and just looking at those photos and looking at right now, and just seeing all the similarities and the differences and the parallels, and yeah, just feeling how time is collapsing a little bit. And I think the next slide is the one with the ads. So I just wanted to warn people. And yeah, so thinking about everything that's happening right now, and like researching a lot of, you know, thinking about conversion therapy, it came out of the medical community. It is now mostly like pushed forward by different religious communities, but it's also, you know, tied to nation state capitalism, and, you know, kind of like talked about in the sense of like a culture war. And like, this was a campaign that was called like the Normandy of the culture wars. And I just like keep thinking about how people frame it as a war. And it's not like, it's a war for people that want to attack people. And for us, it's, you know, trying to build worlds where we can like exist and be ourselves. So that's kind of a thought I've been having, is like how to confront these things with like not engaging in that conversation, but also engaging with people having those conversations. But like, I don't see it as a war, and it's not, and also that creates like this binary with two sides. But I am really interested in kind of aggressive like tactics, I guess, that are confrontational. I've been researching the gay shame movement a lot in relation to this project and the critiques of it. If you haven't heard of it, it's pretty interesting. in the 90s and early 2000s, it was like a club night at this place in London, but it's also kind of had a resurgence in the Bay Area as kind of queer people confronting all different kinds of gentrification issues and things like that in aggressive ways. And thinking about kind of how that like how these conversations need to be out there, and this I'm interested in that aggression. And but then also like I'm interested in the kind of critiques of there's a lot of critiques of the gay shame movement, and kind of like thinking about the dichotomy or the binary of pride and shame, and how it's so much more complicated than that. Yeah, so this was an essay that was kind of critiquing a conference that was had about gay shame. And I really like how it says, yeah, it's kind of talking about how like the focus on interiority is only part of the conversation. Like it's important to have these conversations within ourselves, but also within with other people. And so now I felt like I saw something this week that just kind of really illustrated this point. I wanted to share this video with it. That's an interview with Alok Menon, who's an amazing artist and activist, and just a person that I guess I just always look to, that has a lot of like articulately eloquent things to like, if I'm trying to like figure out how to say something that like they've already, I feel like, figured out how to say it. So I just wanted to play this video to kind of set a context for the next activity that we're going to be doing.
Moving beyond the gender binary is not the same thing as requiring everyone to identify as non-binary. I think that we're in this moment right now where people receive this language of gender neutrality as erasing their right to be a woman or a man, or a kind of new era of political correctness, and I'm doing that in scare quotes, where people are not allowed to preserve their right, their God-given right to be a man or woman. And that's not what moving beyond the gender binary is. You can still be a man if you're a man, you can still be a woman if you're a woman, but what we're saying is that manhood and womanhood should not be defined in opposition, and that actually man is so much more tremendous than just not woman, and woman is so much more expansive than just not man. And that man and woman, rather than being the only two options, are rather two of an infinity of options. Think of it like two stars in a galaxy. We wouldn't say that there's only two stars. We would acknowledge that there's a galaxy. There's this phrase that people hear, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I think that's it. I don't really remember if that's the planets that they assign them to. And I always love that phrase, because then that means all the other planets are reserved for us, we non-binary people. There's an acknowledgement there that, okay, there are multiple genders. So moving beyond the gender binary is just about moving towards an acknowledgement of multiplicity when it comes to gender, and recognizing that trying to filter people into one of two categories doesn't actually work.
Oh, I accidentally closed the whole presentation. I just had one more slide, sorry. Just a sec. And I just wanted to show that video to introduce you a little bit to their work, but also because I just felt like this, oops. I'm not sharing my screen, no, sorry. technical stuff. I saw this post that they created. Ooh, the other day. Thank you for bearing with my technical difficulties. And I just thought it really just like summed up what I want the point of this project to be is like, and what the point of like the queer movement is like responding to these like attacks with like love and expansiveness and sharing like the expansiveness of like what kind of people are missing out on. And yeah, I think that's what I would want to capture in this project in trying to reverse this these methodologies of what people call conversion therapy. And this is kind of what the full comments of what they were writing in creating that post. But and just confronting those things. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Confronting those things in a way that just shows joy and expansiveness and just like that. That's kind of what I want to capture in these like therapies that we'll be like creating and participating in together. And I think that's it. Those are some of the resources. I can always share them with you if you're interested. And on that note, I would want to go into, I guess, our first exercise that I wanted us to do together. And it's kind of based on the idea that Alok was just mentioning in the video we watched of like, I want us to create a collaborative drawing. I'm going to share my screen with a whiteboard.
And Lo, when you get the chance, someone in the chat did request sharing the resource links in the chat. So maybe we could do that at the end or whenever.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely will do that. Does everybody see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Cool. And you're able to, like, there's tools and everything to participate in drawing on it.
I don't see the tools.
Oh, so it might be under, you might have to say annotate under more. Is that a thumbs up I saw from some? Are people able to draw on it? Oh, I see. Or was that me?
I think that's you, Lo.
Oh, it seems like
other people can do it.
Yeah. If anyone's having technical issues, let me know.
Or let us know. Maybe someone who figured out how to do it, can you share how you did it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to do it.
I think you go up to the top where it says.
Yeah, I think it is annotate. That's what I did.
Yeah, you click annotate and it should give you a thing at the top with lots of different options like mouse, text, draw.
It's under more, like when you go up to where it says you're sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Oh, so where it says view options, where it says you are viewing Lo's screen, and then it says view options next to that, and then you can click annotate.
Yeah, it's under the ... section.
Oh, cool.
Did everyone figure it out on iPhone or on like mobile?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna clear this test, the test site, if this is okay, if that's okay. Thanks for trying that out.
Someone just says they got it on their iPhone.
Oh, nice.
Oh, amazing.
It just appeared.
Magic.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how it happened. I went back to click on some sort of button and it just appeared. So
cool.
Okay. I'm glad it's working for the most part. Okay, so if everyone's ready, thanks. Thanks for doing these Zoom experiments. I want us to create, and you don't have to have any drawing experience. It's kind of more about us just all like creating something in this visual space together. And you can, and like the point is to be like abstract and create lots of layers. Like I love these whiteboards because you can just keep adding and adding layers to them. And I kind of want to take the idea of like a queer galaxy, and like the idea of like, I guess queerness being in like the fabric of the universe since the beginning of time. It's not something that's new. And I want everybody to kind of just draw that and what that means to them all together at the same time. Does anybody have any questions? And kind of take it as like a meditative experience, like play around with the colors and the different, like, yeah, what does a queer universe look like to us? This is like our collective brain. Oh, I wrote down primordial queerness too. I don't know what that means to you.
How do I change the color?
If you go up to format.
Ah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You can also draw with shapes. You can also add text if that makes sense for you. And don't be scared of adding layers. Like we want this to be like a really rich universe. Oh, yes. It's getting really good. I'm going to periodically save the drawing as it progresses. So don't be afraid of like, yeah, just keep adding to it. Now kind of try to just like have your mark making be based on your feelings right now. Just like add some feelings in there. expressive. Yes. Ooh. It's like a Milky Way of hearts and question marks. I think that is a really accurate metaphor. Keep pushing it. Yes, yes, more, more, more. Yeah, yeah. Now get some, if you feel like adding some words, or even just expressions using letters, whatever that means. Yeah, and this is our world we're building. And I think after, like, I'm gonna give it like a minute and then I'm gonna call it. Ooh. Yeah, add your last marks or flourishes or. And I'm gonna save it for the last time right now. Let me know if you want a copy of the drawing. Or I'll make sure to post probably on the Revelation Prism website, if that's okay with everyone. I might post this. Let me know if you would have an issue with that. All right. Thanks everyone for doing that together. I taught a drawing class on Zoom in the spring, and we did a lot of stuff with that as a way for us to like try to be in the same space in some way and collaborate. Thank you. Yeah, and kind of just going back to the point of like, this is like we're building worlds, and yeah. And okay, so the next part, we're going to be going into little breakout groups again. And I have just like 3 questions for like for everyone to discuss in small groups. And then we can take maybe like probably like 10 or 15 minutes to do that. And then come back and do a final exercise. And these questions are based around kind of what I've been thinking about a lot with how there's been a lot of conversations over the last few years about self-care and kind of like how we take care of ourselves, how we can, like what that means to different people, what does like self-care mean, and trying to avoid it being co-opted by capitalism, but also like how self-care means community care and like therapy, like when you're doing work on yourself, like how are you also doing work out in the world with people and in community, and how those things are all so interconnected. So that's kind of just where these questions are coming from. And Becca, would you be able to do the breakout rooms?
Absolutely. Did you want to
And
share
I'll paste them. Oh yeah, I should do that first, huh? That's
because our chat will get separated into like multiple different chats.
I will paste them in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, everyone. And there's, yeah, like there's no wrong answers, and there's no like, and it's like kind of just about a way for us to share with each other. So thanks for being willing to do that.
And for everyone, we've had like some people come and some people go, so your breakout groups will be different than the ones you were in before, just because we needed to fold the new people in. So I'm gonna open the rooms up now, and we'll see you on the other side. And the questions are in the group chat, which you might not be able to access, but I can pop into each of the like individual groups, and I'll paste the questions into each chat. So keep an eye out for those. Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, can you actually see the main group chat, or can you only see your like breakout?
Hey, Yvonne.
I can see the main.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even need to be here and give you the questions. Okay, cool.
Thanks for coming in.
I'll see you in a few.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Then you should be able to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Just coming in
Hello.
a second. Make sure you can still see the questions. Sweet. Hi, Rain.
Good to go.
All right. Have fun. I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, everything is very slow. Oh no.
Hi. I was
Okay.
popping in. There seems to be a tech issue.
Hi. Okay, I'm back now. This is exciting.
Oh,
Thanks for
great. Oh, I like your little cat curled up on either side of you.
Oh, yeah.
I have a little pup curled up next to me.
Oh,
Sweet. Well, I just wanted to make sure everyone could still see the questions from the chat, which it seems like you can, and then see if anyone needed anything before popping into the next group.
I cannot see the questions.
Okay, let me see. I can send them directly to you, I think.
Okay.
Did that work?
Yes. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Take care. I'll see you guys in a few.
Hey, sorry, I just had to run to the bathroom. Oh, you're muted.
I'm muted. I popped into the first three. You actually can see the main chat. I'm just gonna pop into the fourth one and make sure they don't need anything, and then I'll come back to this one.
Thank you so much for helping me.
Of course, it's fun. I feel like I'm running around to all these different virtual spaces. This has been great. That drawing was so fun. I had no idea you could do that.
It's really fun. I like sharing it. Yeah.
That was awesome. I felt like a kid, like on Paint. Did you ever use Paint when you were a kid?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Transported back to Paint.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check on this last breakout room really quick.
Thanks so much.
Of course.
Feel similarly to.
Hello.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure everyone could see the questions and everything was going well in tech land.
So far, so good.
Great.
Saad, though, I don't know if I don't know if you're able to hear us. No.
No, I haven't. Yeah, you guys have been in like your own little space, so I haven't been able to. I'm gonna go back to the main room and I'll leave you to it, and then I'll see you at the end of the breakout rooms.
Cool.
Have fun. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna hit close rooms, and then that'll give everyone the like 60 seconds.
Sweet.
You're doing great. This is awesome and so fun.
Thank you. I need it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm in such a mess in my head.
Appreciate you like pushing through everything that's going on right now. It's not easy. Yeah.
It's nice to get together with people and do these things, so it's what keeps me going.
Yeah. Hopefully it's like energizing and not exhausting.
I think like the anxiety leading up to it is and then getting here, it's like, yeah,
yeah,
this is so nice to ask these questions with people.
Absolutely.
Hi. Hi, Chloe. Hi.
Welcome back. I love how we're shifting through all these virtual spaces. It's so
yeah.
All right.
Thanks for shifting through all the virtual spaces, everyone. And to bring us all back into the room together and just to say, like, the point of this project is to like celebrate the work that we're all doing and that queer communities and people are doing, and to keep this movement going and like celebrate joy. And so I was wondering if it's possible for everyone to look in your immediate surroundings and find something that brings you joy, and like kind of like have it take over your screen somehow. And like specifically queer joy, if whatever that means to you, if you can find something that reminds you of that. And I just like want everybody, like if you have your video screen on, I just want to, or you can write it in the chat too, something that brings you joy. And I just want it to like take up our screens for a moment. Oh, it's upside down. Aww. Yes. Thank you. Thanks for putting it in the chat too. Yeah. Did anyone want to share anything that they talked about with their breakout group? It's okay if not too, but if anyone wanted to share anything. Yeah. Natasha.
Hi, so we talked a bit about the questions, like not individually, but together. And one of the things we said was that, especially with like the third thing about like creating safe and comfortable and joyful places, that we sometimes felt that needs to, or that we feel limited by the idea that it needs to come with power. And I shared that I, like, on every step where I objectively have already, like, I have already privilege, and then at every step where I get more power or more privilege, or to another step, like in my degree program or somewhere else, I still feel like, oh, I'm not there yet. I need more power to actually do this, and how to get out of that. And another participant in our chat said, which I find beautiful, that just starting with creating a safe space around yourself. And that was really a light bulb moment for me. And I really liked that.
Thanks for saying that about that's a really powerful, the power idea of like, yeah, I feel I've been caught up in those cycles before too, but it's about like everyone, like finding our own power to participate in those things with like what we have around us, I guess, you know. Yeah. Does anyone else want to share? Thanks for having those conversations and reflecting on all these questions with me. I like thinking of questions that I'm asking myself and sharing them. And a lot of my art practice revolves around questions, I think. So yeah. So our final part of the workshop is going to be another like breaking into small groups, but you can participate in a small group or individually if you'd rather just do this part by yourself, or with a couple of the people you've hopefully gotten to know a little bit in the workshop. And I'll paste the instructions in the chat for this last exercise of, I guess this whole project comes from like trying to celebrate these ideas and the ideas of queer people knowledge that comes from our communities, and like just like kind of thinking about ideas and like ways of putting them into action. I'm just always interested in like, I guess, embodying practices or embodying ideas and how that can like help us through different things. I'm a person with a lot of anxiety, and I always like, sometimes it's just about like doing something and that gets me out of like my anxiety loops. So maybe that's where this comes from a little bit, but I'm always like trying to be like, you know, I think that's where how I got to like the interest in like therapies of like exercises, actions, like what are these like things and how do they actually manifest into the world. So with that, I would like kind of the point of this project is for everyone to create therapies together. And, you know, I invented a couple that we did in the workshop, but it's also about, like I said, everyone contributing ideas to how we can do this. How can we queer the world? We're all in this together. So the instructions are that I just pasted. I'll read them out loud too. With your small group or individually, create a therapy exercise to bring more queerness or queer joy into the world. This does not have to resemble any notion of a traditional therapy at all, or it could if you want it to. It can be an action, a spell for a group or individual. Where is it meant to take place? Is it a public or private action, intimate or open to all, meditative or disruptive, or both, or anywhere in between? Anything in between. Create a description of your therapy, a list of materials you might need, and detailed instructions for how to perform this therapy. And if possible, like you can work as a group doing these things, and if possible, create, if someone in the group is willing to create like a visual element or a drawing to go along with what your idea is, that's kind of the goal. So, and yeah, there's no wrong answers. It's like just kind of just try to experiment with it, take it as a fun exercise. And I'd like to collect people's responses somehow, if that's cool, and share them on the project website. So I just keep, I guess, that in mind when you're creating it, because since this is a participatory project, I would really love to gather your ideas and participation.
Would it work for you, though, if people sent it to the chat, and then I know we can save the chat at the end of the video?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. So save what you're writing to the chat, or I had my email up there. You can email it if that's easier, but like I think that if the chat's easy, that's probably the best way to do it. Yeah.
Cool. And I think you can upload files to the chat too, so if people create images, they can do that.
Yeah, send me images.
Well, I will put everyone back into the breakout rooms if you're ready, Lo.
Yeah, thanks. And this is just our kind of our final exercise of the day. So, and there's a couple things after, but yeah, just wanted to say thank y'all.
May I make a request if that's okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Could we enable screen sharing so we could do the whiteboard thing in our breakout rooms?
Yes. And I wonder.
That's a great idea.
Do you know how to do that, Lo, so that anyone can share their screen? I can Google it.
I know.
Oh, great.
So if you click the arrow next to the share screen button in the bottom, then it gives you options, and you can, I think it's an advanced or more, and then you say that any participant can share or something of that line.
Yeah, I see the option, but then it won't, it's like grayed out, so it won't let me make it. It says like only host can share, but it won't let me select all participants. But see if I can go into my like main Zoom settings and fix it.
We can just do chat typing, that's okay.
Okay. I'll make the breakout rooms, but then behind the scenes I'll work and see if I can get the screen sharing to happen.
So potentially you could, maybe use the whiteboard feature in the breakout.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like such a teacher in these experiences. Now I'm like, now everyone share what you
It's an effective form to have everyone break into smaller groups and then share, you know?
Yeah. It's just steal it. A mode of working, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Will you be teaching again for PSU in the fall? Nice.
Yeah. Just one class, or like co-teaching a class. So
nice.
Pretty easy. Doesn't start for a while though, at the end of September.
Oh, nice.
Does yours start like
It's like the very beginning of September 2nd.
Dang.
Yeah, so I just have like 2 more weeks of summer, and then I go back to being a student for the first time in a while.
I feel like my summer's just starting, because once the eviction stuff's over, I'm gonna be like,
then you get to actually relax.
Hi everyone. Yeah. How did it go?
It was really cool.
Cool. would each group be like willing to share kind of just what you came up with, or like if you did it individually?
Yeah, I had a drawing, but I don't know where it went. I did click save.
Oh, good. Oh, you were able to do the drawings in the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know where it saved it to though.
It saves it to like a weird special folder on your computer that I have a hard time finding. But I've had
I
that
will go on a search.
I took a screenshot of our thing, and then our breakout room can talk about it a little if that is good.
Great.
I don't know.
I know it's scary to share things, and but I am just curious to know.
Kata, do you want a few seconds to find the thing, or would you like some stall time?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. So our group, we made a little drawing or typing ideas. We had a couple of different ones. One was kind of built on the idea of giving people space to dress up as a combination of their many parts of themselves. So like, if I speak for myself, I think that I've got a lot of personality presentation that I am, and the non-binariness of myself also goes along with all of those different personalities. So we were talking about people dressing up as like them, all of themselves, and then also having kind of like a shared closet situation where through the clothing exchange you can leave an article or take an article, and people can take part in that, and then maybe putting wishes, spells, or affirmations in the pockets, or like even links to websites that they find good. And then also a really cool idea was adding the concept of memories. So kind of putting like a scent or an expression of the experience the previous owner had, and like in those clothes to share with other people too. And then I did the screenshot too late, but another idea that Andrew, would you like to speak about the shared experience one?
Sure. So I know one of the things I was thinking a lot about is like magic and lineage, and how you can pass things on to other people, but also how doing things at the same time can sync people up and either lead you into a direction that you're intentionally going, or heal and correct it. So like doing something with someone else for an intention or for synchronicity.
Thanks so much for sharing. Those are all such really cool ideas.
I love the idea of like a shared closet and like clothes exchange. That's so great.
What if like closets were just public and you would just go in and like pick something out every day? Like, I don't know, I just love like reimagining like the way we have systems. Like, what if there was a whole system for that where you could just share a closet with a group of people?
It'd be very fun.
Yeah. Does any other group want to share any of their ideas?
So our group came up with a variation of like a body sculpting type of deal where one person, well, you choose a topic. So like one topic we were playing around with was like your youngest memory of like conceptualizing gender or thinking about gender. And each person would at first like answer it in their own kind of body-based way without using words. So like I might do this, somebody else might do, that. And that's like the first way of interacting with the prompt. And the second way is kind of like mirroring, or I was calling it like telephone, where you replicate somebody else's action and then reflect on what that action felt like in your body as you were reflecting on it. And then you guys can have a conversation about what that person intended it to mean and that sort of thing. And then phase 3 is like interacting with another person's body movement. So like if I did this, somebody else might come in with a sledgehammer and do this, you know. So that was, yeah, just kind of playing around with that and how you could make a traditional body sculpting exercise work on Zoom too. Mm-hmm.
That sounds so interesting. I want to like try it right now. Yeah. Oh, so cool. Yeah, I think I don't know, like I don't really come from like a performance background, but I guess I do use a lot of performance in the things that I do. So I'm always really interested in like how performing actions like can be a therapy and like help us work through things. Yes. Anybody else want to share before we wrap up? If not, that's okay too. These are really cool ideas. Oh, my cat's jumping up. Oh. Okay. Well, but if everybody could somehow put in written form and like share that in the chat or share it with me somehow, my email I'm gonna put in the chat right now. I would just like really, those ideas are really exciting. If oh gosh. And I would love to share them with the project. If that's okay with everybody, on the project website. If you share them with me, that's where they will end up. And to kind of like the idea is for that to kind of be a central space where gathering all these different therapies and kind of hopefully kind of coming together and getting like different collective bits of how people are healing and using different therapies in their life and how with strategies for queering the world. And I guess I just wanted to end on a note of like, I think this is like, this project I want to approach with like a lot of joy and celebration, but I also want to say that I think this work is like very, what's not dire, but like it's very important right now, like as, you know, people's rights are being taken away. You know, there's a lot of anti-transgender legislation. There's a lot of just like, you know, just like the general, there's a lot of things in our day-to-day lives that we can change and make small steps to changing and to bringing more queerness into the world and more understanding and less misconceptions and creating our own worlds where those things aren't a problem and like and kind of modeling just like joy and love and celebration, but how that is just like a very vital task that we're all taking on, and thanks for taking that on. And that's all I have to say. But does anyone have any questions or feedback, or I guess, yeah. Thank you all for being here so much and going through these experiments with me.
Thank you so much, Lo, for leading us through this. This was really a special and fun afternoon.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
Great way to start.
Thank you so much.
Saturday morning. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice to see you all.
Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us from all different corners of the world. It's really nice to be able to come together with queer community during this time. So thank you.
I need that so much. Thank you. Like this, yeah, that's why I want to do these kinds of things.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna end the Zoom call unless anyone has anything else they want to say. The video of it will be posted later today or tomorrow, and then be sure to check out the exhibit also on the Five Oaks website, and then the recordings of all the previous events if you're interested in those.
Oh, did we have the resources posted?
Oh yeah, thank you. The resource links that you mentioned earlier.
Oh yes.
Thank you.
And there's more too. This was like a very abbreviated version of resources, but if you're interested in any of my research for the project or anything, yeah, definitely be in touch. I'm interested in talking to people about these things.
Great. Yeah, and I posted way at the beginning, and maybe I'll repost.
Yeah,
the link to your Instagram below, among other things. So is that a good place for folks to connect with you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks everyone. This was so lovely, and hopefully our paths will cross again.
I hope so.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.